Oi, oi, alright, how's it going? I'm Grant, this is Doodle Review, and we're in the middle of a string of rap reviews, and it felt like the right time to address one of the biggest pop rap releases we've seen this year in Doja Cat's Scarlet. Now, I remember reading an article or a book, and I mean that, I think it was by Bret Easton Ellis. It wasn't just a TikTok, I swear. But anyway, in this article, they were talking about how the novel as an art form is dying, and they explored the notion of social media replacing the medium. The notion that in this new era, Instagram or TikTok could be the vehicle for artists to provoke the same thought in the same way that they did, or the novelists did in the 20th century. Now, I'm not sure I agree with this. I think long form text will retain its place in culture, even if just as the basis of content that ultimately does end up as audio or video. But I got to thinking about all of this while listening to Doja Cat's latest album, Scarlet. As much as on face value, an album with this many lines about getting the D might seem unlikely to provoke such deep thoughts about the shifts in prevalent artistic mediums in the 21st century, it really did. I was led to this train of thought while checking out the lyrics to Scarlet on Genius. And for those that don't know, Genius is a site that gathers song lyrics but also allows users to go in and annotate and label those lyrics to create footnotes that provide context to various references made by the artist in those lyrics. I didn't necessarily need to read through all of those annotations to get the backstory of the record though, as Doja Cat's war with her fan base, a prevalent theme of Scarlet, Doja's continuous disavowal of her most ardent fan base was well publicised prior to the release of the record, from calling out stan accounts that use the artist's birth name as the handle of social media profiles that analyse and speculate on every public or private move they make, to outright disowning her previous records as cash grab pop music. Doja's been on a warpath. While reading up on the lyrics though, I had this weird through the looking glass moment, because there I am listening to a record that thematically casts shade on parasocial relationships, fame and fan culture, while then going through all of the lyrics that are annotated by fans who are adding screenshots, interview quotes, definitions and photos. Not only is that a really meta moment in and of itself, but it's what led me to this notion of new art forms in the 21st century. You can't go as far as to say that Scarlet is a concept album, but it does clearly have something to say. You can pick up on most of that just with the music alone, but if you zoom out and incorporate all of the surrounding content, be they PR pieces around Doja's outlandish red carpet stealing looks at various events, the social media backlash, in addition to actual sanctioned promotional material like music videos, it does all come together to kind of form a tapestry around Scarlet. The jury will be out on how much of this is really that thought out or by design, but the reason I think it bears consideration is that you can really extrapolate a cohesive narrative from all of these cultural artifacts, and I think that regardless of your thoughts on the record itself, the rollout of Scarlet does offer some insight on the change in the scope of canvas artists have available to them in the 21st century. As for the album itself, I like it. I've had an interest in Doja Cat for a while now, and while unlike the artist herself, I wouldn't fully write off her previous records as having no merit. They're certainly enjoyable. But after Planet Her, I was definitely craving a more rap-centric album, and that's exactly what we have with Scarlet. I think rap fans that are critics of Doja Cat might look at my opening analysis on the themes of the record and label that as a bit of a reach or quite generous, but I think that comes from a school of thought that wrongly conflates someone's ability to make a serious artistic statement in hip-hop with the need to have the highest word count or most intense layered lyrical wordplay. That's just not the case. While Doja is no slouch when it comes to writing bars, it's her charisma and cadence when writing a beat which is so fun to listen to, and her use of very direct language absolutely supports this. Like the whole "who are you, what are those" in Demons, or the "She the Devil" hook on Paint the Town Red being great examples of the charisma at play, while Fuck the Girls demonstrating Doja's cadence and direct lyrical attack, in that case deconstructing the media's need to pit women against each other. It's instances like this where Doja Cat has a bit between her teeth and about a topic where the album is at its best, whether that's fandom, fame, rap critics, and a media that pearl clutches, objectifies, and body shames all at once. They all fall within the rapper's crosshairs at certain points. There's a lot of toying with sexual and satanic imagery designed to provoke moral panic circa like the year 2000, which I think is fun. And it's where Doja doesn't have as much of a clear target though, as where she's going on about her new relationship, where the album loses momentum, leading to a bit of a loose track list and a lessened overall impact. Often is a really vibey track with some of the coolest production, but feels a bit superfluous among 16 other tracks and an hour runtime. I also feel like Ballot and WYM Freestyle make for a bit of an odd end to quite an expansive album. Even though the latter marks a return to the aggressive feel of the start, it still feels like less of a defining closing statement than you might expect, given how on point Doja has been throughout the majority of the album. Instrumentally, I enjoy the variety of beats that we get on this record and the stylistic shifts that sort of span these 2 to 3 song suites. The record starts on an aggressive tone from Red until Ouchies, then shifts to a more subdued mode with beats centered around muted, plucked strings or pianos. Shut Show comes out of this segment, which is musically one of my favourite tracks on the album. It's a track with hook after hook after hook, poured on like syrup with lots of cool backing vocal parts. We then drift into a slight R&B segue with Agora Hills and the very 90s sounding Can't Wait, before moving into some more abstract kind of bedroom funk style beats that I can imagine an artist like No Name actually rapping over. Overall, while it's not quite as succinct or focused as it could be, this is a strong showing from Doja Cat and I'd give it a 7 out of 10. It's definitely going to please anyone who has been waiting for a record dedicated to Doja's rapping prowess, and from that point of view, it's hard to be disappointed. Thanks for listening to me chat fraff about this record, but the price is you got to now tell me, what did you think? Did I get this right? What was your favourite track? Share some thoughts, show some love, just hurl some abuse in the comments below. That's what they're there for after all. There are some other videos linked in the description below that you might like as well, so check them out.